I'm currently sitting in an empty ballroom, but for the Earth Day Forum 2024, these seats were all filled with important stakeholders to tackle climate change. It requires a collective force, a collective action in order to promote and progress climate resilience. Let me repeat that, collective action. So, the Ministry of Nature hosted yet another Earth Day Forum. But what are these forums all about and what is the significance to them? Let's find out. On Earth Day, a second annual forum was hosted by the Ministry of Nature. The discussion centered on climate resilience, and many step forwards have been taken to tackle climate change on our small island nation. A National Climate Resilience Council was launched. The Climate and Ocean Risk Vulnerability Index Agreement, also known as the CORVI Agreement, was signed by many public and private stakeholders. The CORVI assessment will be led by the Stimson Center, an institute from the U.S. The CORVI assessment is significant because they will provide Aruba with data points and indicators on how we should deal with climate change on the island. Additionally, a climate atlas for Aruba has also been signed. All these developments are steps forward to taking action against climate change.
For me, this is highly important. For years or decades, we have been talking about this subject, but what was lacking is clear action. And today, on a national level, we brought everybody together from the government. My ministry and the Ministry of Geoffrey Weaver is also co-financing the CORVI study, together with 13 partners out of the private sector. Together, 15 partners, we are financing this study to make sure that Aruba is ready in the near future to deal with climate change.
Attendees of the Earth Day Forum can see Aruba is on the right track.
What I thought about the forum, it was super interesting. It's super interesting that we are going in the right direction. We are planning and we are creating a roadmap to mitigate these climate change effects and impacts.
It's really important to note that these steps in the right direction cannot happen without collective action. Aruba needs partners from the private and public sector to come together on the serious topic of climate change. The CORVI assessment signed at the forum has 9 major stakeholders.
Climate change affects all of us, so we need to do this together. And I think that is the message when preparing. We've been preparing together with my team almost for 2 years now to bring everybody together on a national level to deal with this. And to be honest with you, everybody felt the urgency and also made their commitment to help and prepare this. And I think that is the most important part, that you see individually we can do it alone, but once we do it together, we will achieve a broader objective for the entire island. And I think that is the message we got from today, with everybody signing as well these agreements. It proves that everybody is willing to work together to make sure we can achieve our common goal.
I also think that having multiple stakeholders involved in order to fight against climate change is really necessary. We need multidisciplinary approaches.
Minister Ursula Adens also says one of the priorities is tackling climate change on a national level, partnering up with credible international research centers.
And that's why we also took a national approach. The National Climate Resilience Council is based on a quintet model that is also not only focusing on private but public sector, but we also include academia, NGOs, and also the international partners that can help us both with the finance but also with knowledge when it comes to dealing with climate change. And for us, this was highly important, because tapping into outsourced knowledge and finance will definitely help us move forward.
3 panels were held to dissect climate change. Knowledgeable local and international panelists provided insights to climate change and nature, which the audience were able to take away from.
The Parque Aricoc, basically they mentioned the thing about nature being very fluid and also knowing no boundaries. It's also the case with humans. So we should remove that human instinct of putting boundaries and understanding that nature also knows no boundaries. We need to start building with nature, or also understanding that nature is with us everywhere we go. So that really struck me, that when she gave the example of the cascabel, I was like, right, okay. It's not specifically exclusive to Parque Aricoc, it's all over Aruba. So that was one thing that struck me.